Okay, welcome to episode 35 of Most Man. How we doing out there, boys and girls? Come on, like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com, info at themostmen.com. Soon coming to Rumble. We can't wait to come to you, Rumble. We're ready for you. All right, so we got... I'm Marc Mahoney. I neglect to say my name enough. There are a lot of people that don't know who I am, but I am the host of Most Men. My name's Marc Mahoney. And we got Tim, the meatball Marin.
Timmy Kidd. Also known as.
Yeah, Timmy Kidd Marin. And we got Tyler Cambry on the controls over here. It's hard to see him on the camera, but he is here. He is our new Capitan when it comes to production and getting stuff done around here and our marketing. Like, our production levels are going to go way up with this young man with us. So we're excited to have him. So how we doing, Tim?
Doing wonderful. It's too hot to golf. So I might as well be in the air conditioning with some cold beer.
Too hot to
spread some wisdom.
It's not too hot enough. It's not hot enough. It's not too hot to not have sex.
Yeah.
In air conditioning.
That's why they make air conditioning. That's probably why it was invented.
Yeah. So, speaking of sex, we got some pretty... This is one that we throw back at you and have a little fun.
Let her hair down. Hey, shout out, the Browns and Jets are playing the Hall of Fame game, probably starting any time. So I'm a shout out to my Cleveland homies up there in Canton, probably made the road trip up there. Playing the Jets. Aaron Rodgers probably ain't going to play.
No, he's too valuable to play in the preseason.
Yeah. The Browns would break his ankle or something just out of principle. But anyway, we got some Cleveland people watch the Most Man, and Cleveland's got some Most Men up there. I mean, everywhere's got Most Men, but, you know.
Okay, so no, give us Tyler, you need to hear this. Give us the Cincinnati or the Cleveland. The Cleveland, when you come to play the Browns, man, you're playing some. You got a whole different set of rules to play by.
Yeah, see, they played the Browns. The Browns played the Bills, and Buffalo to Cleveland's, like a 2-hour drive or something. But the Bills flew in, and the Bills won. This is back when it was like 6-3 or something, just some god-awful shitty football game. And it was kind of sleeting and muddy, and the Cleveland airport people shoved their frickin' front of their plane off the taxiway, and boom, it stuck in the mud. And there was a big snowstorm, and they had to take a bus back to Buffalo because the Cleveland airport people stuck their plane in the mud. But they also, shut off the water, the hot water to the showers, and especially the old stadium, there are giant rats in there. And I mean, all these stories are true. I mean, Cleveland would get their pound of flesh somehow, We may not win the game, but you're going to remember coming to this shithole, and we're going to make you pay. So, and anybody out there who don't believe me, look up Joe Turkey Jones stuffing Terry Bradshaw. Joe Turkey Jones jumps off sides, they blow the whistle. He grabs Bradshaw around, his whole body. The whistle's blowing, so he just kind of stops, and he goes, what the hell? And he just, launches him over his shoulder, knocks Bradshaw out. He's laying there all twitching. Joe Turkey Jones picks up the ball and runs into the end zone, spikes it. He just scored a touchdown, and Jack Lambert comes out, he's running. I mean, it's just a war started. It's the most dysfunctional video you'll ever see, But Joe Turkey Jones at this day is like this monster. He's just celebrity in Cleveland because he pile drove Bradshaw. And the play was entirely over. The play never started. He jumped off sides, hit a bunch of people. All right, we ain't doing nothing. Nobody's doing nothing. So everybody's just standing there all relaxed. I guess he thought, well, everybody's too relaxed. I got to spruce it up. But if you just Google search Joe Turkey Jones, Terry Bradshaw, it's out of control. But that's the way the Browns used to roll. I mean, after they were good with Jim Brown, won a bunch of championships, one of the best football players ever. But when he was gone, they were gone. They had some spurts of decency in there, but yeah, being a Browns fan, I mean, it's bad. But if we just beat the Steelers, we play them twice a year. If we just beat the Steelers one time, it's like winning the Super Bowl each year, you know? Life is good.
Wow.
Yeah, we live for that.
Yeah, well, the Cowboys don't live for that.
The Browns will probably win a Super Bowl before the Cowboys.
Oh, no.
The Browns and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl would be just such a mind-fucking. It'd be insane. It'd probably be in the most dysfunctional football game of all time. Be like 3-2 or something.
Yeah. It's the whole. Dude, I don't even give a shit about pro football.
I go for the spectacle of it.
As soon as they started all that fucking kneeling shit, I was done, man.
Well,
I wasn't even done. I was done before that.
Well, I just go for the tailgate party. See, West 4th Street tailgate party. It's the biggest bash known to man. Freezing cold out. Everybody's eating hot fish. The shot wheel. They spin the shot wheel. There was one girl there. She worked. She was an exotic dancer. Her name was Natalie Wood, which always cracked me up. Spelled W-O-U-L-D. Natalie Wood. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. So everybody up there's got nothing to live for except go to frickin' the tailgate. And like 100 people go to this tailgate party, and probably about 30 of them go in the game. The other 70 go home and watch it on TV. I ain't kidding.
Yeah, they're going to thaw out.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's fucking cold up there.
Yeah. And, well, global warming might save it, but, you know, until then. But anyway, there's the shout out. Hall of Fame game tonight. That's what's going on.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers ain't playing. He don't want no part of that.
Oh, hell
he
no.
don't want to get
He
pile.
probably didn't even make the trip.
No, he doesn't want to get pile drived. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
get pile drive. All right, so the random topic of the night is just because it's so the new setup we got going here, or we're still in the intermediate setup here where we're at, but the new setup going in the new studio. So what we got Most Man, Timmy Time coming soon. I've got a daily show that I'm going to start, but we're going to have a proper studio that's got proper setup and proper production and proper all that. So things are about to be a lot more professional. But we got Tyler here behind the mixer, whatever you want to call that thing. The switcher.
The voodoo box.
Yeah.
Where the voodoo goes on.
Yeah. So, but the whole point of what I'm saying is Tyler came up with this concept, and it was fucking awesome. And it made total sense once he said it. He was like, hey, man, he said, you know what the beautiful thing about this is? Once he started working here, or not working here, he's here getting paid for doing a badass job. He's not working here. He's here. He's part of the team. Okay? So he's like, you know what's cool is that we get to get Tim's perspective, which is, how old are you, Tim?
I'll be 61 in 2 weeks.
Okay. So I'm 41. I mean, I'm not 41. I'm 45. So we got that gap. Tyler's 35. Okay. So there's a 10-year gap there. May have missed it by a year. But he's in mid-30s is what I'm saying. So we're going to get 3 different perspectives of 3 different generations, right? So that's why I wanted to bring this one up. And Tyler's gonna poke in here every now and then. It may not be the most professional shot, or it may not be the most professional way, but he's gonna pop in here on some of this. Is the new dating world for young men and middle-aged men and in between. Okay. because it's way different than the way I grew up dating, the way you grew up dating, and the way that he grew up dating, and especially these younger kids, these younger men. That, like, the only way you're going to pick up there's still bars and clubs and all that kind of stuff, right? But like Instagram is the number one dating app on the market right now. Which means, but let's just set the record straight. Tim is married, been married for a long, long time.
30, 31, somewhere in there.
Yeah. I was married for 20-something years, and I just went through a divorce. Tyler, have you ever been married?
And I didn't get married till I was 30, so that's kind of maybe that's becoming more the norm. But, many years ago, people got married more fresh right out of high school or early on.
Right, and that's part of the other 3 topics that we got.
All right.
So the new dating world is because I've just been thrown into it freshly, not by choice, just by what's happened. You haven't dated since what, 1980?
Well, late 80s.
Yeah.
Well, and me and Renee went out together for a couple of years before we got married. So you could say we've been together 33 years. So I met her when I was 28. So I pretty much hadn't been dating since, 26, 27.
Okay. Well, that's when I met my future wife, is when I was 20. Well, I lied to her about my age because she was 2 years older than me. So I guess I met her when I was 23. 23, and she was 25. Or wait, no, she was 27 and I was... It doesn't matter. I told her I was the same age, and then all of a sudden it came out that me and her brother were the same age, and her brother's 2 years younger. I can't remember what age it was, but it doesn't matter. But the difference in dating now, especially as a middle-aged single man, okay? Like, I'm not like in the mood to be going out to bars to go meet women these days. And in our days, back in the day, your day, my day, that's where you met women, or you met them at work, or you met them somewhere. You met them somewhere. Well, hell, half the people work from home now. That takes out half of it right there, right? Everything's online. So there is no more person to person to person anymore. It's what's all online.
Well, you can't say there's no more. It's just the ratios have totally changed. The ratios of what goes on.
Absolutely.
Because you still have to go, you can go to church or you can go to the grocery store, But see, nowadays, possibly, if you meet somebody in person, like a one-shot wonder kind of thing, like, I don't know, like you go to your dentist and the receptionist or something. You're like, oh, wow, this gal looks pretty, yeah, maybe I'd like to make some time with her, But, I mean, that's a bold, ballsy move, right then, But that's the way it used to be.
Well, especially when you got the guy in the back that's about to start drilling on your teeth and you want to drill his fucking receptionist.
Then you find out it's his daughter. Oh, yeah, that Novocaine was just kind of some water.
Yeah.
No, but when I was a kid, and by kid, I mean, early 20s or whatever, it's amazing how when you get to 60 years old, what your definition of kid becomes, It used to be an 8-year-old kid. Now it's a 20-year-old kid. But it was kind of like, unless you knew where this person worked or you frequented this place over and over, then you could kind of ease into it. But there was no social media to look somebody up or, figure out their cell phone number or this or that. I mean, there were times, yeah, it's true that today, like I say, the ratios are different. It was almost like it's now or never. It seemed there was more, it's now or never to ask a girl out or can I get your phone number or something. But it would happen when you weren't even ready for it to happen. Oh yeah, I'm going here, I'm doing that. And then it's like, boom. Wow, yeah, this is good. Well, I don't want to, yeah, well, no, I'm busy. I don't know. My hair looks like shit, Then, all this comes into play, And, but I guess it depended what your end result wanted to be, If you wanted a long-term relationship or, hey, I want to get to know this person or it just seems with all the modern shit, you got more options of how to manipulate the whole system. Back then, I think it was just more straightforward.
That's okay. So that's what I'm talking about. So I'll hit the bullet points to where you understand where we're going with this, to where we don't get lost in a sea of exactly what you just said. So, internet dating or organic. Okay, you grew up in the organic, and I grew up in the organic. Now it's internet, and for these younger kids, it's all internet. Now there's still some organic, but like you said, the ratios have split. They still go to the clubs, they still go to the bars, they still do all that, right? But
maybe the intensity of the need to, I got a backup plan. I got the internet. See, right. Even though it's organic, you got a cop out. Well, I got all these other avenues when it's just truly organic back in the old days and you didn't have no other options. It was ask her out or don't or never see her again or something, boom. Now or never.
Yeah. So, but it's the same thing of now I'm going to leave these two out, but this is why the marriage rate's going down in the U.S. It's because everything is opposite of because women have men at their fingertips now. If you want to talk about internet, okay, they don't have to do the organic anymore. They do. They go to the clubs and they shake their ass and they do all this stuff. They can do the organic side, right? But they don't have to anymore. They could just send a guy a message over Instagram or any other app. Like I'm on all these dating apps, and I don't waste my time with them anymore. Because do you know how many dudes are out there? Okay, most moment right here. Okay. Do you know how many men you have to be in shape? You don't have to. Because not everybody's good looking. Okay, but physicality, it's a persona that you have to put across on the internet. If you want to date on the internet, there's a lot of women. There's a lot of innocent, not innocent, but quality and
genuine, maybe
genuine, and even if they've been divorced and they have kids or whatever, they're looking for because they're a good woman that just maybe married a bad guy, right? But they're not playing the numbers like all the other women are out there playing the numbers. They're looking for the right guy, right? But for men, this is what's frustrating, especially for like me. When I broke my foot and I was in bed, that's when I started learning how all these dating apps worked and this, that, and the other. And it's just, do you know the ratio of women that I had to swipe across or like to even get one hit back? And I'm not going to sit here and say that I have everything that women are looking for, because I don't. But there's a lot of men out there that they might be overweight. They might, and I'm not like a fucking athlete over here. I'm not going to claim that at all. Okay. But they didn't have the resume that I had. And it still took me probably 100 women to get one response. Me. And I'm not, again, look at this ugly mug. I'm not the best looking guy. That's not what I'm saying here. But I'm not the ugliest. But at the same time, it took me probably 100 to 1 to get a response. And then out of that, you might get 10 a month, and you might go on 2 dates.
That's mind-blowing.
It's a lot of fucking work, man. It's a lot of, and I just finally quit. I was like, I'm going to let my resume and my picture speak for themselves. And you know what? That works better than hunting for it. Now I get 5 to 7 a month. So that's internet. Organic. Women are less, for me, and I want to get, I mean, you already kind of explained your organic, but the organic side, online I get 5 to 7 a month. They know nothing about me. They've never even talked to me. Okay? Or just even seen how my first initial reaction is. Okay? But the ones that I've met in public or anywhere else, they're kind of because they're so used to this online shit.
Yeah, but see, if you meet somebody on the fly, they've always got the organic backup in their head kind of thing. It's like follow me with this, Mark, and then you expound on what I'm about to say. Something you know a little bit about. If you meet and get married to a gal, and neither one of you have any family in that city, you guys are way more likely to stick through thick and thin, no matter how weird or shitty, because you're both got each other's back, and there's bumps in the road, but it's you and your spouse or whatever against the world. When you throw family into the whole thing and they got all these friends and this and that, the other, I mean, as soon as shit starts getting a little weird, they just got too many options. Run the mom, I'm going to go to my mother's house, or I'm going to go stay with my friend, or I'm going to go back to my old roommate, and I just need a little time to think, Well, you're sending a message of you ain't in this for the fucking long haul. You're in this because
it's convenient.
If it's when it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, I'm the fuck out of here. Well, why does somebody want to keep dumping their heart and soul into something that the other person's already said? I reserve the right to frickin' blow door anytime I want, for any reason I want, for as long as I want. How is that the basis for a long-term relationship?
Well,
if you're on a desert island together, you'll probably get along together.
You damn right.
I guess that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got a little context on this based off what I've been through the last 3 years. You find out real quick what love is. I honestly, and I'm not going to say that, because I want to say that love has been watered down since
that ought to be a song right there.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I think since your generation versus mine, versus like what you're saying, your parents and your grandparents, they went through some real shit together. Real shit. Right? Love has a different meaning, your generation and down. My generation and up has a totally different it has a totally different meaning. There's a totally different rule set. Tyler's generation has a totally different rule set than what mine had. because we were just getting cell phones and the internet was just getting, the internet looked like a damn, I remember the first computer I got, it looked like shit you'd see back in the 80s. Just big tube monitor, that thick. You had to buy 2 desks just to get the fucking thing to work, because the monitor was so big. But what I'm getting at is that love and your generation and below, it's 2 totally different things. Okay? Love in my generation and up was, how many boxes do you check? Is he good looking? Is he handsome? Is he in good shape? Is he smart? Does he have a good career? Good family meant something in my generation. It did. But there were a whole other list of items that were way more important. And as long as you could produce a nice looking baby and you had a solid career and she could be a stay-at-home mom, you're marriage material until shit goes the other way.
I just looked something up. I want to make this point.
Okay.
My parents got married in 1947. I put how many TVs were there, or did people have TVs in 1947? Only a few thousand American homes owned television sets before 1947. Just 5 years later, that number jumped to 12 million. By 1955, half of American homes had a TV set. So when my parents started going out, they didn't have the body of knowledge of like Leave It to Beaver, today everybody's grown up with sitcoms and the Cosbys and
Kardashians.
Well, or just even whether it's even a wholesome show or not. That a lot of their formative years was formed by television shows, pop culture, and shit like that. So, good, bad, or indifferent, if you grew up before television, what did you do? Sit and listen to the radio together?
Yeah.
Gee, what a concept. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Listen to music, but listening to the radio is a whole lot more intimate than watching TV. Because, hey, you can put your arm around her over there, the TV thing. But think of the quality TV shows in 1950. What the hell was even on TV back then? Hell, I don't know.
Chuck Berry.
No, not 1950.
No, I'm just saying.
Hell, I don't want, and they probably didn't put him on TV in 1955. About when he started. Love me some Chuck Berry. Shout out to Chuck Berry there.
Oh, I love me some Chuck Berry.
I seen Chuck Berry at Billy Bob's, and he walked out the front door. We were all out there figuring out where we're parking. He walked out the front door. They pulled up his Cadillac. He threw his guitar in the trunk and drove off. I was like, damn, that was Chuck Berry. But that was in about 1982.
No, he was my hero. When I learned how to play guitar. Dude, I've got a version of Johnny Be Good that I want to play you sometime.
All right.
It's my own version.
But then he got in big time trouble because he would tell every club that he wanted to be paid $5,000 in cash. Well, he announced that to the whole world. It didn't take long for the IRS to come knocking on his door.
Well, they didn't have the technology they have today.
Yeah, but he would announce to the whole world he would play for $5,000 in cash, which there's nothing illegal about playing for cash. You're kind of supposed to claim it, though. That's kind of where he ran into some trouble. But
hey, man.
But anyway, Chuck got my money that night, and I was happy to give it to him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, so
anyway, I'll leave it with the formative years of people my generation or parents' generation. They didn't even have television to form their basis of anything, let alone the internet.
And be indoctrinated by all sorts of bullshit. Okay? They That's what I'm saying about internet versus organic. Your organic versus my organic, and what organic is today. The women that I've met, okay, now that I'm single, they're all like, text me. And I'm like, no, I want to talk to you over the phone. I want to know I want to know if you're smart. You know what I mean? Like I've got boxes to check here.
Can you spell dog, or are you using spell check? Come on.
Yeah, but the whole thing is though is that it's I'm just like, what is so fucking hard about making a phone call? Because when you talk to somebody, you can figure out in the first 5 minutes if you're working with somebody with their salt or not. I mean,
or their vibe even too. Are they happy? Are they this? Are they bitching? Are they?
Yeah, they're miserable. They're depressed. They hate men. They hate And
if they are miserable, why are they miserable? Did their dog die today? All right, cut them some slack.
Yeah.
Are they miserable all the time? Hell, you got to talk to them more than once to figure that out.
Yeah, so I had this girl. It was going good over text. And that's what I told her. I was like, if you're ready to dump that one, I'll get you off. Not get you off, but I'll dump it off.
I got my system. See, when it's getting down to the end, then I get my newbie in there.
Oh, I know your system. So what I'm saying, though, is it was going great over text. Everything was going great over text. And she texted me one night. Because I'm telling you, right now, it is on my terms. I'm not out there chasing this, and I'm not going to get into me, but we're going to get into these other two topics because we don't want to. Both of you boys got a long drive back, so I don't want to drag it on all night. But dating for me at 45 is on my terms. Okay? Especially that I'm starting a new business like this where we're building better men. Okay? I have to it's in my DNA, but it's also I have to live what I preach. Okay? If I'm not walking the walk of what I'm telling y'all to walk, and it's not that I'm telling anybody anything. I just hope that people get something out of it. Okay? But business is first right now. God is what? Let me excuse me, Lord. Let me switch that around. God is first. Business, it should be family right now, but I don't have a family. Okay? So it's God, business. My son is my world. My middle daughter is my world. So that doesn't even equate into my top three. They negate any of these three anytime, anywhere. If they need me, I'm there. Okay? Dating is the last thing on my list. Especially taking care of somebody else's kid. Or just dating to date. I mean, whatever. Okay.
Well, you kind of, I won't even call it dabble, but when, like 6 months ago or whatever, back at your old house when, you were going to sell it, you kind of had some downtime in there while all your business stuff was percolating through how it had to go. And you jumped into the dating thing pretty hard.
You damn right I did. I was ready to ride some bicycles and taste some flavors and
yeah. And I told you, I said, be careful not to get too fragmented. And you're like, no, I got this, and it took up a lot of your time, but you had the time. But now that, business and, everything's been, the deck's been reshuffled and, the dust is settled. Yeah, you're focused on what you need to focus on. But yeah, you let your hair down there for a while, but
oh yeah.
But it was the time to let your hair down.
I'm not going to say selfishly, but kind of selfishly. I was like, okay.
Well, you deserved a little bit of respite from the ass beating that had been going on.
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
and I was ready to show off some of my talents. Huh! So, no, so it's just it's a totally different game, and I don't want to get lost in a weave of all this other bullshit. But what I'm saying is, it's different these days, and it seems like there's no organic connection in these women that you meet. I do meet a lot of women out in public because I got such a personality, and I can get your attention that quick. I mean, and I have a lot of younger girls that the places that I frequent or I do or this, they're like, hey, Mark, they're like, they like me because I'm quick, I'm witty, I'm this, I'm that, But this goes to the next point, okay? The dating world. So let's close out the dating world.
Let me throw this in. I got one that you probably never thought of this aspect.
Okay.
Here's the older version of what goes on. The baby boomer thing after that I grew up in after World War II. Everybody had 8 kids. I mean, I only had 3 brothers. There were 4 of us, 4 boys. So we kind of had a small family in general. Our whole neighborhood was just chock full of frickin' a million kids. They got 8 kids. They got 7 kids. They got 9 kids. So when you started dating a girl, her brothers were up. There was a whole support system that went on that don't go on today because everybody's mobile now. Look at your son. He's out riding a motorcycle all over hell and gone. You got a car when you were real young. Up there, like in Cleveland, I mean, you took the bus if you went anywhere, and everybody in the neighborhood knew what the hell was going on in the neighborhood. And around here, people would joke, now, hey, you got to watch out for daddy. You had to watch out for everybody.
No, the brother thing is a fucking real deal.
And sister thing. I mean, it wasn't just brothers. It was sisters, older sisters.
That went on in my generation. I'll give you an example.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
But I'll just finish with, you could make 7 out of 8 of them happy, but, man, if there was one in there that just, I just don't like that fucker. And not saying this happened to me a whole lot, but, a lot of my friends it did. I lived through their trials and tribulations of, I really like this girl, and she likes me, but the family threw the flying kibosh, So anyway, the more people you got in the family, the more hurdles you got to overcome, or the more potential fuckers.
Back then, in my generation, same thing. Okay?
But families are smaller now.
Okay. Well, okay.
In general.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. So 25 just came out. That was the Keith episode.
Right.
Right? That was 25. Right, Tyler? Yeah. His dad, 6'2". Doesn't matter what color he is. But he's a black guy. But he was a fucking athlete, dude. A basketball player. He was fucking jacked. I mean, he was strong, athletic, jacked, and it had nothing to do with race. It just had what pissed me off is that they had kids and he just didn't have a part of their life, and I was having to take over, I was having to help, right? But it was the same thing with my sister. I was like, why are you fucking dating this guy if he's not going to fucking take care of what he started? And I remember one day that, and here I am, I'm only 14, 15 years old, and this guy's probably 20. He called the house and he was like, yo, let me talk to your sister. And I was like, who the fuck do you think you are calling my house? Talking to me like this. And he was like, I told you put your sister on the phone. I said, let me tell you something. I don't put nobody on the phone unless you talk to me with some fucking respect. Like I said last podcast, I thought I could fight. And I can. Okay? But what I'm getting at is that he was like, I told you, put your sister on the phone. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Who the fuck do you think you are calling my house? Talking to me like this. Next time you call here, if you want to talk to somebody in my fucking house, you talk to me with some fucking respect, motherfucker, or fuck you. And I hung up the phone. And he called me back and he said, I'm going to tell you one more time, put your fucking sister on the phone. I was like, let me tell you something, motherfucker. I didn't know that he was 1 block down the road on a payphone. Okay? I said, let me tell you something, motherfucker. You don't call talking to my sister like the way you think you're talking, fuck you. I said, you bring your fucking ass to my house right fucking now, and if you think you can whoop my fucking ass, we'll do it right here, today, now. He's like,
then you hear the door slam outside. Like, oh, shit.
No, all of a sudden, he's like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, fuck. But that's the whole thing of what you're talking about. Your brother sticking up for your sister. Okay? Because I was like, dude, fuck you, man. You want to call here around here? You're, having kids with my sister? I mean, call here and fucking talk with some fucking respect, man. And I called my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law, he's married to my older sister, half-sister. And make sure we get the half in there. Davis Mahoney. This is a 6'4" guy, 265. Corn-fed, jacked motherfucker. Okay? Tough. I called him and I was like, fuck, dude. I mouthed off to so-and-so, sister's boyfriend. He was like, dude, he's like, I can't get there fast enough. If he's on his way, you're fucked. He says, but here's what you got to do. He said, when he comes at you, he said, I want you to fucking stab him in the solar plexus. He said, I want you to kick his fucking knee backwards first. Karate. Okay? I took karate younger. He said, I want you to stab his fucking knee with the right foot. He didn't say this, but we already knew this, right? Stab it with the right to where it hyper extends the knee backwards, or that's what it feels like. Okay? And they're fucking focused on their knee, and then you fucking... Have you ever been... Do you know the difference between doing this and being punched? Tyler, give me your hand real quick, just so I can put it up. Okay, so... Which one stings more?
Yeah, because it's more.
It's more
square per square inch.
If you got them tight, right? Stab the solar plexus, and then you stab the fucking throat. While they're bent over, worried about their solar plexus, you, because they're going to bring the force down, right? And I did all 3 of those perfect. And he's sitting there going, what the fuck? And I just boom, 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 boom. He was like, oh, man, I've had enough. I was like, yeah, you've had enough because you can't fucking breathe. Can't breathe. And you're 6 years older than me. So that's why what I'm saying, I thought I could fight until I met these Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking weak. But point is, same thing, brothers. You got brothers. Your girls had brothers that protected their sister, right?
Yeah,
that's the family unit.
And the younger brother, he could rat you out to the older brother, even if the older brother wasn't around. It was like the freaking CIA of knowledge, So you had to have your shit straight morning, noon, and night. Because if you did one stupid thing, that got around like wildfire, you know?
Well, that's brotherhood.
Yeah.
Brotherhood is brotherhood.
And that's kind of gone, I think, nowadays. Because everybody lives their lives so rapid fire. Everybody's got their face on their phone. Go sit in a restaurant. Look at a family. They order their food, then they all frickin' do it. They're staring at their phone. They ain't talking to each other or anything. They're probably like, hey, let's go eat dinner. We ain't ate dinner together in forever. And then they go stare at their phone while they eat dinner. It's a weird deal, man.
Well, they almost invited in. There's a QR code as soon as you sit down. We don't have menus anymore. You got to order on your phone.
Yeah, that fucked me up for a long time trying to figure that out. Now I've been seeing some things about fake QR codes that people put over the top of like the QR code that's supposed to be there. Sends you off to some crazy shit or robs all your information. Or
Oh, yeah.
So beware of the fake QR code. How about that? Public service message.
Yeah. So that's internet versus organic. Okay. So the internet, mine is it just it's not going to change though. It's just not going to change. But here's going to the next point. What these young women are finding out about the younger generation of men about putting up with their bullshit and their promiscuity. These younger girls are the highest percentage of the most sexual deviants that we had in a long time. Because real men, most men out there, you don't want to be a most man. But if you're a real man, you want a good woman that is genuine, she's authentic, and she's innocent. That's what real men want in a woman, is innocence and purity. You don't want the woman that's been ran through. But a lot of these girls have been ran through. And again, let's talk about the younger generation, my generation. You haven't had to go through this, okay? But I guarantee you the women in your generation have had probably 3 to 4 sexual partners, and that is it. And you might be the first.
Well,
or second.
Well, like in high school, you knew who ran loose and you knew who didn't in general, in general.
Well, in my generation, you did too.
I mean, yeah, if they stick out like a sore thumb, then everybody knows who's sticking out like a sore thumb. And you got that back to frickin' BC times, I mean, face it, human nature is human nature.
Okay, but now it's at a finger touch for these kids.
That's what I'm saying, though. The ratios change. Nothing's new. How it's new is new.
Right.
But it was always there. It's just how much of it was accepted. Man, when I was a kid, I mean, divorce was rare. Now divorce, fuck. Oh, yeah, you can get a divorce on the internet, I'm sure. You can get divorced probably in 15 minutes.
No.
Like QuickBooks, No,
it's not that easy, buddy.
If both people agree and sign some shit, But I'm just saying, back in the 50s, say. I mean, I was born in 62. So, by the time I'm like, aware of maybe what divorce would be or anything, probably be around 1970, about 8 years old, starting to go, oh, okay, well, they used to live together and now they don't live together. And, where's my buddy? His mom used to live there. Now she don't live there anymore. What the hell's going on? It was just rare. It was rare. And now I think divorce is because it doesn't have the stigma it used to.
Well, no, because feminism feminism wasn't what it is today. Men were beaten to submission in my generation. Thank God I wasn't. And I didn't have a girl that did that to me. She didn't do that to me. Because I told her from fucking day one, I was like, if you ever even just talk to me the way your older sister talks to her husband, you might as well just pack your bag. Or have a bag packed because you're fucking gone. I ain't putting up with that. I am here. I'm a good guy. I do what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to ask me to do nothing. I do everything that I'm supposed to do. So if you think that you're going to treat me like that or talk to me like that, then you might as well just let's end it now. You know, and you could do that back then. But today it's kind of and I see it with especially the women that are my age that I've dated. They realized where they fucked up. Okay? They've realized where they fucked up.
Well, I'll give them some credit for that because a lot of people don't realize where they fuck up. They go to the grave not knowing where they fucked up. So, I mean, that's at least
okay. So that's
thumbs up for at least recognizing where you fucked up.
Or you've got the ones that are just like, they're on the hunt for who's going to take them home. Not take them home that night, but I'm talking the long stretch, right? Like the ones that they're just looking for that guy just to be like, fuck, okay, finally I got me one. Makes money and he's stable and my ex-husband was not. And you see what I'm saying? I had kids with him just because I thought I loved him. And so now I got one that I like. Well, but you know what? Us men that are stable, we're not looking for you. And we're not looking to raise your kids. We're not looking for that. That's the whole point about the younger generation. Make plans. Have this communication. Have this talk. Sex is great when you're young. Sex is great when you're young. Okay? Have the 10-year talk. What does our future look like in 10 years? What's your career? What's this? What's that? Because there's a lot of those good-looking jocks that were great at football and they're great at all the bullshit that women think they want or girls what they want.
And the girls trying to, oh, I'm dating him. Yeah, you got the 4 girls at the restaurant or the bar. For you to talk to one of those, boy, you got them other 3 hens just passing judgment on your ass, man. They like circle the wagons. You gotta, like, if 4 dudes are sitting down and a girl comes up to one of the dudes, the other 3 are like, whoa, yeah, sweet. A dude walks up to 4 girls sitting in a bar. It starts talking to one of those. Them other 3 are just, they got the stink eye working on this deal. I mean, they ain't just letting this happen without their 2 cents worth.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Women, and that's what I'm saying. I am not anti-woman. I am pro-woman. Right. Tyler's chiming in.
Yeah, it's about time for tied up. Come on. Get on.
Yeah, come on.
Game is on.
Big T. And when I say Big T, this son of a bitch is 4'8", almost 6'5". Okay, so we're going duo now, huh? Okay. I don't know. That's a big stretch for you there, big boy.
I gotta jump in the guest spot, Ali. This is too big of a topic. Way too much experience in this area and way too good of information.
So we're on
Because
autos.
you're saying like the whole entire conversation is on point. You can't say anything better than you've said it. That's why I was joking with you earlier. Let's take the misogyny challenge. Let's go outside and find all the men that hate women.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
I'm going to let Tyler take the mic right now because I'm telling you, this guy is on fucking point. So I'm going to shut up. Go for it.
Okay. So you were talking about the type of woman that you want being innocent. It's more than that, right? I mean, that's the right way to say it, but it's more about the femininity. Because we want a good woman. Like everybody is tempted. What is it? Don't be bribed by the flesh, right? So we're all tempted. That temptation is always there, and that's for every human being that lives. So like being tempted by the flesh is always there, but that's not what, like deep down nobody really desires. We have two desires. We have two desires, and the two of those desires are that everybody desires us or that we desire one person. But the one that is the highest desire is that we desire one person. And I can trace this back, like anecdotally, all the way back to when I was like, I think I was around 9 years old. You know, I was watching Disney and, you know, the movies that they put out. And then I remember my dad was like, how do you have this perspective on love at this age? Like, I remember those words specifically. How in the world is it possible that you have this perspective of love and you're 9 years old, basically? Like, this is where my memory's tracing back, right? Because, like, I would watch these movies about the prince rescuing a princess, like Snow White, and you kiss her and she, like, wakes up out of her spell. And, dude, like, that's where we're all programmed. And that's the kind of girl that we all desire. But women have been programmed in the same sense, but they've also had a silver tongue, a split tongue in their ear at the same time. So they wanted that prince to wake them up and save them, but they had another something whispering in her ear. And unfortunately, that thing whispering in her ear was the biggest traitor in her life. And the biggest traitor in her life was the one person you would never expect to be the traitor in your life. And I don't know if I want to crack that egg open right now. I think we need to step our way into that slowly. Because I might have mentioned, I've mentioned this to you verbally, but I don't know that we're ready to crack that egg open this time. I think we're going to crack that open next time. But the point that I'm making is that we have two desires. One, we have a desire to be with somebody very specific forever. That is the strongest desire. And the second desire that we have is that everybody desires us. And that is the second desire. But if you think about both of those two desires, the second desire where everybody desires us is in your imagination. The one that where you have a desire for somebody that has a desire for you specifically is in your heart. So that is where the difference is between your heart and your mind. Your heart desires that specific desire for somebody who desires you. The one that's in your mind and your imagination is where you're desiring everybody to desire you. So that's the best way I can explain it at this time of being. But meeting somebody that you want to desire you on the internet versus somebody who is organic, I can't say you're not going to find it because that's not totally true. But having been down both of those avenues, right now I have an organic relationship. And in 2 weeks, it's been 4.5 months. Or I'm sorry, wow. In about, let's see, what's this, August the 3rd? Yeah, my girlfriend's birthday is tomorrow. So it has been 4.5 years on the 22nd of this month. So we're 2 to 3 weeks away from a 4.5 year relationship. We met organically, which is weird because we met the same way that my girlfriend's mom and her ex-husband met. We met at the same apartment complex. And that is both something that we said that we thought we would never do, is meet somebody where we live. But she and I both verbally discussed about meeting somebody organically, which is very hard to do now because everything on the internet is so like you're talking about at your fingertips, right? So you get this instant gratification, but she's been through a crazy amount of drama. I've been through a crazy amount of drama. So we were both broken out of the matrix like a while back. She's going on 10 years being broken out of it. I broke out of it 8 years ago. So I guess she's technically 2 years ahead of me in that mind frame, being of like broken out of the subconscious thing that we're all trapped in that nobody really realized. Well, now everybody's broken out of the matrix, but they haven't taken out the plugs. And that's kind of what we talked about last time. There's 2 steps to it, and most people don't realize that yet. Oh, we're awake. Oh, I'm woke. No, you're still plugged in. You got to rip the plugs out too. But the point that I'm trying to make is that we didn't meet on the internet. We met in person. We're at the same apartment complex. We both had a dog. And we both had like all these boundaries. We both had all these layers of defense against each other. And that we had the equal amount of it though. That's what drew us together, because I ran from it. She ran from it. I asked her out. I was just straight up and bold. Like, let's go out. Let's just go have a drink together, because I didn't mean anything by it. I just wanted to go hang out with her, spend some time with her and get to know her. And she lived in the apartment complex that I lived in, but her building was adjacent to mine. And I lived on the 3rd floor and she lived on the 3rd floor. I lived 2 doors down. She lived 2 doors down. So we were looking directly at each other. It was the weirdest thing. But she stood me up the first time. So I still had to like, and I was like, oh, okay. Because in my heart, I didn't really like care about anything. I wasn't trying to like manipulate her. I wasn't trying to take her home, get her drunk and all that stuff. I just wanted to like an organic relationship. Like, I had been mistreated for so long. Like, my Christian standards dating women in my generation have been so like opposed against anything I would have ever have guessed, because I was raised right, but I didn't live in that kind of a world. I lived in a world where women have men at their fingertips, like you're saying, and they're dating so many guys at one time. I mean, I'm 6'5". I'm well over 200 pounds. I was way in better shape. I was muscular, and yeah, I had all the options that women are wanting, but I didn't care. Like, my first relationship was so bad. I was like completely broken out of like whatever that desire of multiple women were. So I was always on this pursuit of finding this one relationship, right? So like after all the things that women had put me through on that one single pursuit, I had still stuck to it all the way to the bitter end. After, beyond the point that I was broken, I really didn't care. I was so broken, I still kept on to my principle. I just wanted somebody who desired me as much as I desired them. And when my girlfriend stood me up, I was like, okay, another one, whatever. But then we would always run into each other, because she would always have her dog and I would always have my dog. And now that we're talking about that past relationship, she said her dog would always sit at the window and paw at it when she would see me and my other dog. So we always had this like gravity pulling each other towards each other. And I mean, eventually she would always see me and wave at me, and I was just kind of like ignoring her because she stood me up, because I didn't personally have any bad intentions. I just wanted to take her out. And I didn't care about taking her home and all that other crap. I just wanted to like have this organic relationship. That's all I cared about. And then she stood me up, and obviously I knew she just went to sleep, because we were texting and communicating, and she was taking a shower. She was getting ready, and then no reply. So she had to earn my respect. And now looking back on it, obviously I respect that. But I didn't have any bad intentions in the first place. But so many experiences, I guess, in her past have taught her to put that barrier up. That's something I had to learn too. So it's dating is the most complicated game in the world. But now I have like the best girl you could ever imagine. And she checks off every box that you could ever imagine, plus more. It's like, I don't even know how to explain the situation that I'm in. But like the game goes back so far that even like her family and all the women of her family and my mom and the women of my family, they're so programmed with this game that they try to manipulate and destroy it at all costs. They do not want my girl to be with a masculine guy. They pictured her being with this weak dude that she could run all over, and that's all they care about. During the show, she was texting me. Her aunt showed up to her job to see how things are going. Her birthday's tomorrow. She hasn't heard from them. She hasn't made any plans, and everything's abnormal right now. You know, my dog's real sick. So they I've posted about it on social media, so everybody knows that I'm in this weak state. I was in Norway 2 months ago or so, and I got really sick. So we took this this fjord safari where you like go in this cold ass lake. It's already like 40 degrees, like for the high. And it's like all this wind, and I already do bad with wind. Like I have bad allergies, and she does too. So like if I leave the ceiling fan on at night while I go to sleep, I have a sinus infection the next morning, and I have to go take antibiotics. Like I have the worst allergies because I took flu shots until I was like 21. So they made me sick.
You should have told me that, and I'm ceiling fanned up over here.
No, actually, I mean, I've been here multiple times. It hasn't bothered me. I think it's over an extended period of time, but I quit taking flu shots in 2008. So I worked in the transplant department. They told me quit taking it. Quit taking antibiotics. Quit taking shots. I don't want to get us banned off of YouTube, but they also are now advocating for something else a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of weird. But the point that I was trying to make is like I got really sick in Norway because of all that cold air flowing through. And so did my girlfriend. We had the same problem. And my girlfriend's mom saw me get sick.
Well, when you go to Texas and Norway, you're getting exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Norway from Texas. Boom!
But
frost freeze.
That's true, but the problem is that when we came back, we needed some antibiotics or something because we were still sick because it was at the tail end of the trip. So we went to the doctor and they're like, "Oh no, you have
COVID."
Oh, don't say that. Now we're getting banned off YouTube.
No, you can mention it. You just can't. You just can't disagree with all their other bullshit.
You can say the big C word now.
Yeah. It's. I mean, fuck. I mean, it's only been the narrative for how long?
Allowed to get COVID. Not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's perfectly fine for you to get it. But it's just not okay for you to disagree with it.
Well, when
I really think that I got it the last show that I was in Vegas, man, I had some shit in my lungs. And I'm telling you, I coughed my ass off. I didn't even feel sick. But I had this mucus in my lungs. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm telling you, the shit was so thick. I mean, you talk about sinus infections. This, it wasn't as thick as a gummy bear, but it was getting close to where I could chew on my mucus. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I would cough. I'm not saying that it's not real. But every time somebody gets sick, it can't always be that. You know, there is the common cold. There is the flu.
Well, that's what the coronavirus was.
It's on the bottle of Lysol. It's been on there for 30 fucking years.
It's the first ingredient. 1968, the coronavirus came around, and it was patented. It's on the Lysol, just like you said. It's the
It's
first
been there
thing
for
on
fucking
there.
years. It's been there for fucking years.
Go read it. It's the first thing on there. It's been that way. It's the common head cold.
Yeah, but Fauci wanted something to stick up everybody's ass, and we're not going to go into that. But here's the thing. I'm glad you jumped on the mic, and this is why. This guy, he's very soft-spoken, but this guy delivers a lot of very factual and sensual information. Because I remember the first time that he got on here, I was like, dude, step up to the mic, man. You got this soft voice, right? And but once you get to know this guy, y'all are gonna love him. I already love him. And I can't wait to see what the future holds. I just can't. It's gonna be so fun. And everything that we're wanting to build. But so let me tell you something about what's happening but the younger generation, these young men, the movement started. These people, these younger guys, they're not putting up with the bullshit that we had to put up with. My generation, his generation, they're not doing it. They're done with it. And they're not done. These girls, their promiscuity and them being promiscuous and doing all the stuff that they do, the guys they're not putting up with it anymore. Because we want, like I said, they don't want it. These girls at this generation, what do we call them? Are they Gen X?
We're on Gen Z.
We're in Gen Z.
My girl's a millennial, so Gen Z started somewhere in the 2000s. If you have a kid right now through 2025, you have an alpha kid. The alpha generation is the next one. Not a lot of people know that. It's almost over.
Yeah, no, my son's an alpha. That's for sure. But I'm just saying, these young men, they're not putting up with these girls' promiscuity. They want something pure. They want a good woman. It just so happens that they date over the internet. Okay, so let's get on to the last one. So middle-aged men or middle-aged women are figure out that middle-aged men are going after younger women, and women are going after older men, younger women. They are. Every girl that hits on me, or every girl outside of the dating world that I talked about, dude, they're all in their 20s or early 30s. I have not, and I look. I ain't a fucking playboy, okay? But every girl that I meet is younger than me, and they're going after, they want real men. They don't want these beta males. The whole beta male, all you dumbasses up there in Congress and Washington and all this shit that y'all thought y'all were going to build all these beta males. Yeah, the internet guys were cool and the beta males ruled there for a little while. But you know what? It's fucking over. It's fucking over. Women want real men. Period. And sometimes these younger women don't even take the dad bod.
They want a stronger man than their dad.
Yeah.
That's why they say they have daddy issues. And it's because they can't find a guy who can overcome their father.
Yeah.
Everything's about overcoming your parents.
Yeah. No. Here's the thing. I test any fucking male right now that's dating any one of my daughters come up against me. They are fucking rowing upstream. Okay? So, this is the last one, and we're going to close on this. And this can be between you and Tim, because I want Tim to get back in here, or both of y'all. No, both of y'all. It doesn't matter. There are no rules here. There are no rules. But why is the marriage rate going down in this country?
Everybody's got too many options.
That and their moms are keeping the daughters single, and their friends are keeping their single people keep single people single.
Well, no. Everybody's got too many options, right? Okay.
And single
But then,
people.
too, moms, my ex-wife. That's all she used to drill into my kid's face. You need to grow up to not be with a man. You need to learn how to not be with a man. Until shit gets fucking real, then they want a man.
And by too many options, normally that's good to have a lot of options. But people, they dabble in a bunch of stuff. They want a great outcome, but they're not willing to do the work what it takes to get to the great outcome. They want the result without the work. Earlier you said, Tyler here hit the nail on the head when I was sitting back over here about 15 minutes ago when he said his girlfriend across the hall, and it took a long time for those barriers to come down, and now he's as happy as he could. He can't imagine being any happier than what he's got going. But if he would have just blown that off and said, yeah, I mean, how many times would most men have just said, "Ah, to hell with this program"? And you stuck with it, and what came out the other end was better than anything you ever could have stumbled across anywhere else. You had to do the work.
Everything in life, every single thing in life. It's just like any business. It's just like anything important. You have to put in the work. Anything that's worth anything in this world, a relationship with this guy upstairs, you got to put in the work. Okay? A business. Most men out there that are wanting to dive in deep, you got 3 years of pure fucking hell. But you can't give up. I'm going through it right now. I've been through 3 years. I've been through 3 years of hell, of my own personal hell. But I'm about to go through 3 years of hell to build what we're building now. It takes 3 years. But you can't give up. And it's the same thing about you. There's nothing good in life. There's nothing good in this life that doesn't come with hard work. Do you think that these guys that have all these guys and girls that have these hot ass bodies and guys that are chiseled like a fucking machine, do you not think they put in work? They had to lift a lot of heavy shit, and those girls had to run a lot of miles and lift whatever they had to do, or they walked on the stair stepper to get that perfect ass that they've got. How many flights of stairs do they walk a day on that stair stepper? You ever been to the gym and watched those girls with the nice, perfect ass? Tim knows about this. His wife is a jazzercise teacher. Okay? None of that shit comes free. No.
Well, it does when you're young and you think you're going to have it forever.
Amen.
It's leaving the day you get it. It's just how long can you keep it?
Bingo. Okay, so I'm going to let Tyler have his final thoughts. And Tim, I want you to have your final thoughts. Because I've said enough. I'm done.
So what you said is perfectly accurate. So the way to visualize what you're about to go through is that this is a common phrase, right? I'm burnt out. So this is where you know that you've become a man, or you've entered inside of this new realm called this manhood, is when you are burnt out, but it doesn't matter if you're burnt out. Because if you're burnt out, you can quit. You can go do something else. You can maneuver. You can pivot. But like, when you're burnt out and you're at the point of like, it doesn't matter if you're burnt out, you have to keep going because everything's going to fall apart. You're going to die. You're going to go to jail. Your IRS is going to come after you, whatever. That's when you become a man. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm burnt out. I got to go. I got shit to do. I got to make money. I got to pay rent. I got to buy a mortgage, whatever. There's going to be a point of your life where you're like, oh, I'm burnt out. You realize that you're being weak because burning out is like being a piece of toast that is crispy, but you wanted to be a piece of toast the entire time. But really, you're a loaf of bread and you're just focused on being this piece of toast. So, I mean, that I can only give the best like visual description I can, but you're going to see what I'm talking about once you get to that point. Once you become a piece of burnt up toast, and it doesn't matter if you're a piece of toast that's just burnt out. Being burnt out, you have to go forward. It doesn't matter. That's when you hit this like overdrive gear in your transmission that you didn't know that you have. That's when you become like the first gear into your manhood. And then it becomes a whole new transmission. So you have you're entering into a new world that you didn't know that existed. And you're going to understand that it's not your fault. You've been groomed this way. You've been programmed this way. And your biggest traitor is like the one person you would never expect to be that way. And they made you this way. And you have to forgive them for what they've done to you. And that's going to be the hardest thing in life you're ever going to have to do. And until then, all you can do is just take this seed and plant it into your brain. Whether you want to or not, you just heard it. And that's where you're headed. So that's my final thought. Sorry. Not sorry. You're going to appreciate it.
Don't be sorry.
Well, I was going to say something different, but I got to dovetail on what he just said. Now, if you're burned out, you need to ask yourself why you're burned out. Say you're trying to get on the other side of the fence in your backyard, and you've been digging a tunnel for 6 weeks, and you could have walked around it or you could have got a ladder. I mean, if you're banging your head against the wall, is there another way? Is there a better way? You know, normally there's no shortcuts in life, but that's not a shortcut. That's just being aware of your surroundings and quit whipping your own ass. Are you burned out because you're whipping your own ass, or are you burned out because you got a life and a mortgage and a kid and a house and trying to keep 3 cars running and, you know, there's a lot to juggle? Or is it, I don't want to get up and go to work tomorrow. I'm burned out. Well, kick yourself in the ass and get going and do something. Get a different job. You know, eat better. Lose some weight. You know, whatever. But if you're burned out because you're just doing the same stupid shit, then you deserve to be burned out. But figure out a better way to do what you're trying to do. You got a lot of options out there. All right.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a wealth of information right there. And I think that's probably, I think the way that you two sum this up, I think that's good for this edition. I'm just happy I'm happy to have both of you, is what I want to tell both of you. Yeah. The only thing that I can say on that is, in order to be successful, you have to surround yourself with people like this and this. You have to, if you want good things to happen in your life, you have to surround yourself with like-minded people. If you hang around shit, you're going to smell like it. But I'm just telling you, I've known Tim 20 plus years. I'm just getting to know Tyler, but it feels like I've known him for a long time. But you have to have good people in your circle. Because if you don't, you got people dragging you down. It's like bad family, okay? But what I'm saying, as long as you got like-minded people in your circle, and you're around like-minded people, go ahead, Tim.
A wise man recently told me, I don't want to hang out with anybody who doesn't have anything to lose, which probably means they make bad decisions. Not that he wants anything from them, but if they've got nothing to lose, they got no skin in the game. Hang out with people who got skin in the game.
That's it. And do you have any final thoughts, Tyler?
Well,
shout out to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, the girls are out there. They're just hiding because they're scared of what their girls are doing, their friends are doing, their moms are doing. They're out there. They're just waiting for you to come rescue them, basically. Like your princesses, they're out there. You only see the loud ones. That's the best advice that I can get. They're everywhere. There's way more good girls out there. There's way more good people out there than you know.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. I think there's way more good than bad out there. And that goes back to what we talked about on our first podcast with this one, is that we are in a fight between good and evil right now. And you evil motherfuckers, we're coming after you. Because we're the good guys. And we ain't taking this shit no more. Okay?
And we got the truth on our side. That's the craziest part. The truth is on our side, so we can say what we want to say.
Bingo. Okay.
Hey, one last thing. You hear about you want to be on the right side of history. I want to be on the right side of right now. I mean, you can rewrite history 1,000 different times. I mean, if Germany would have won the war, what do you think the history books would look like? So the winner writes the history, but how do you win? We want to win by the truth, being fair, and being righteous, not by the end justifies the means. I don't want to be on the winning side through hook and crook. I want to be on the winning side because it's the right thing to do, and that's the way it works.
I can't top that. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Tim? Well, tell everybody goodbye then.
American flag over here.
Okay. Look, I'm super thankful to have these guys, and I cannot wait to see how this goes in the future, because the ball now is officially rolling. When we first started this thing, we did it on a shoestring budget. Okay. But now shit's getting real. Okay. So thanks everybody out there. Please. And again, thank you. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com, info@themostmen.com. Soon to be on Rumble. Can't wait to get to Rumble because we want to get into people that are on our side that don't give a shit about censoring people. So, y'all have a good night. Thank you.